Let me ask you a question. If you were given the chance to rate the current Battle Through the Heavens annual fantasy series, what score would you give it? Think about that for a moment. Back on April 14th, 2009, Battle Through the Heavens made its debut as a fantasy web novel. No one could have predicted the sensation it would become. Written by Tiancan Tudu, who was only 19 at the time, this passionate young author poured his heart into telling the story of a boy named Xiao Yan, someone who faced crushing setbacks but refused to stay down. That fiery willpower, that drive to rise from the ashes, resonated deeply with readers. The novel exploded in popularity and became a cultural phenomenon in Chinese online literature. Tiancan Tudu's name was etched into the hearts of countless fans, and naturally, with such success, came the desire to adapt it into animation. Fast forward to January 2017, Fights Break Sphere, the animated version of Battle Through the Heavens, was released by Fulch Films under the name of Tiancan Tudu. Hopes were high. It was meant to become a flagship domestic production, a symbol of quality Chinese animation. But sadly, those expectations quickly crumbled. Instead of glory, what followed was disappointment. Fans criticized the series for its stiff modeling, poor animation quality, and overall failure to capture the essence of the original novel. The backlash was intense. Viewers who had loved the novel were heartbroken. What should have been a triumphant milestone turned into an industry-wide joke. The reputation of the anime was so tarnished, people compared it to a rat in the street, reviled and unwanted. But then, just when fans had almost given up, news came that changed everything. Huanwei Digital, known for producing high-quality animations, took over production starting from the first special episode. It was the lifeline that fans desperately needed, and the effect was immediate. The return of Yun Yun in the first special was not just a comeback for a character. It symbolized a return to form. Under Huanwei's leadership, the animation improved drastically. Stunning visuals, refined character modeling, and intense, carefully choreographed battle scenes made a huge impact. The fans' lost trust slowly began to rebuild. With each subsequent release, Special Episode 2, Season 3, Season 4, the production quality only got better. It was no longer a simple adaptation. It was a redemption arc, not just for the characters, but for the series itself. And the true moment of glory? That was the 3-year agreement, released on October 31st, 2021. This was the turning point. The 3-year agreement didn't just live up to expectations, it blew them away. Previous seasons had laid a solid foundation, but it was the explosive battles, faithful plot lines, and emotionally charged performances that elevated this arc beyond even the novel. The adaptation didn't just follow the book, it reimagined it, refined it, and in some places even surpassed it. Part of what made this arc so iconic was the voice acting. Mr. Zhang Pei, who voiced Xiao Yan, delivered a performance that breathed life into the character. His portrayal captured Xiao Yan's strength, pain, growth, and spirit, making him more human, more heroic, and more relatable than ever before. Just as fans were celebrating this incredible achievement, Huanwei surprised everyone again. In a move to fix the flaws of Season 1, unify the art style across the series, and satisfy fans' long-standing wishes, they released Fights Break Sphere, Origin, a partial reset of the first season with updated animation, improved pacing, and expanded story content. This wasn't just a visual remake. It added important narrative elements, including scenes like the battle between Yao Lao and Mugu Lao, giving more depth to the world and the characters. It also served to build anticipation for the new annual fantasy series and re-engage fans who may have drifted away. And then came that unforgettable line, voiced once again by Zhang Pei as Xiao Yan, saying to Nalan Yanran, "Miss Nalan, out of respect for your grandfather, Xiao Yan advises you, 30 years east, 30 years west, don't bully the poor young." That one sentence became a cultural moment. It broke through the screen and resonated with an entire generation. But even that glory was tinged with disappointment when news broke that Zhang Pei would no longer be voicing Xiao Yan in future episodes. For many, this felt like the loss of a piece of the character's soul. Still, fans remained hopeful. The early part of the annual fantasy series was generally well received. Nothing too flashy, but consistent enough. Then came the turning point. the underground magma incident. This arc sparked controversy and disappointment. Viewers felt let down again, and criticism returned. But not all was lost. The subsequent arc, where Xiao Yan visits the Yunlin sect 3 times, helped regain some of the lost goodwill. Then came the Zhongzhou arc, based on the middle portion of the novel. Xiao Yan's victories in the alchemy competition, his leadership in the rescue of Yao Lao, his adventures through ancient ruins, and Yao Lao's promotion to semi-saint all brought the story back on track. But just as fans began to settle back into the flow, another misstep occurred. In the Huazong checkpoint arc, Xiao Yan's emotional rescue of Yun Yun should have been a highlight. He even shared 2 kisses with her, but the dialogue was changed. The iconic line, "Xiao Yun Yun, I'm not late, am I?" was replaced with something generic. It downplayed the deep bond and history between them, and many fans felt robbed of a powerful emotional moment. After everything they had gone through together, reducing them to simple acquaintances felt wrong. Now, with new episodes on the horizon, fans are left wondering about the direction of the story. Will the upcoming Xuanhuang Fortress arc stay true to the novel? How will Xiao Xiao be introduced? Will she call Xiao Yan father? Will Xiao Yan finally marry Kai Lin? And will key emotional and dramatic scenes from the book be preserved? There's a lot of speculation online, some of it wildly exaggerated. In a live stream, Tian Kan Tudo personally debunked many of the more outlandish rumors. At the same time, he made it clear, it's impossible for an animation to replicate every single detail of the novel. Some things will inevitably change. Some sacrifices must be made for the sake of pacing, structure, and visual impact. So now the question becomes, how will Huanwei and the production team move forward? How can they balance staying true to the source material while keeping the adaptation engaging and cinematic? Fans want to believe in the series. They want it to succeed, but they also want the heart of the story to remain untouched. So again, I ask you, if you could rate the current battle through the heavens, what score would you give it? Has it lived up to your expectations? Or are you still waiting for that one perfect arc that brings everything together? The journey of Battle Through the Heavens has been full of ups and downs, disappointments, comebacks, and unforgettable moments. From its humble beginnings as a novel written by a teenager to becoming one of the most talked about Chinese animations today, it has carved out a legacy that's hard to ignore. But the future is still unwritten. Will the upcoming arcs stay true to the original? Will the animation continue to evolve and meet the high expectations of its loyal fan base? And most importantly, can it capture the same magic that once made it a legend? Only time will tell. Now we want to hear from you. How would you rate the current Battle Through the Heavens annual fantasy? Are you satisfied, or do you still feel something's missing? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next deep dive into your favorite Donghua series. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.